New York City is the mecca, the nucleus, and the epicenter of music. There's no hip hop without NYC. There's no salsa without NYC. And if it wasn't for the past Dominican immigrants, bachata wouldn't blow up without NYC. Nightlife is the pulse of music, es el pulso de la música. Joel Molina, known as Nate Sketchy, is a product of hip hop. He's a product of Dominican migration, and he's a product of NYC. It's important to tell his story specifically for culture. This conversation is special in so many levels. There's the aspect of cultural exchanges. There's the aspect of nightlife. There's the aspect of music. And then there's the aspect of segregation and how we segregate ourselves as culture. Nate Sketchy is someone that has always existed as a bridge between cultures, community, between Latin and hip hop. Considering the stigmas and anti-blackness that's always existed, it's important to take a look at his evolution, not only as someone that worked in the nightlife space, but as someone that has been able to unite so many different subcultures in one room. AJ Ramos is a Latin music and culture executive as well as a multimedia public figure. His 18 years of experience in the Latin industry has positioned him as an authority, earning him the recognition of Variety and Billboard's Latin Power Players. Join the two moguls as they unpack the highs, the lows, the struggles, and the chisme of Nate Sketchy's untold story.
Yo, the Sketchy know how to sell some shit. First of all, he's one of the most successful promoters in New York City history.
Dímelo, 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 dímelo. AJ Ramos here with you. What an honor, what a privilege, what a blessing. Today I have the opportunity to be sitting here with a brother of mine, an inspiration. It's Uptown staple, a culture pusher, an entrepreneur, an entertainer, a hustler, a workaholic, a person who decides to be a blessing to others, has also paved the way, has inspired a generation, but more than that, has created a name and is living his legacy, owning his identity, representing the 200% Latino hip-hop culture, Soul Frito, and all that.
I love it.
I'm here with my brother Nate Sketchy, man. What's up, baby?
How you doing?
I'm feeling blessed. I'm here with you,
look
my
great.
brother.
You look great.
I mean, I gotta keep up with you, my boy. You feel me? Look at this drip over here, ladies and gentlemen.
On fire.
You make it look easy, Nate, man. Listen,
Gracias, mi rey, gracias.
I'm so excited that I'm here with you, right? I think before we get into this conversation and we do what we do, man, God is so good, bro. It's been 2 decades almost that we've been
like 20,
going at it, bro.
Like 19, 20 years.
19, 20 years going at it. Like in this industry, only the
La
strong
Calle.
survive. La Calle 105.9, baby. AJ Callejero and Nate. I think the first time that we ever met, I was driving the radio station truck, the Hummer. I was giving out flyers, and shout out to the homie DJ Precise. He never used to like to
Legend.
talk, so I used to
Legend.
he gave me the mic.
Yo, real
Had a
quick,
live broadcast. What's up, baby?
you and L Bugs inspired me
Yeesh.
to host on the mic. Like I'm like really good. Like people like,
Thank
yo, get
you,
on the
my brother.
mic, and it's just
Listen, I gotta give it to L Boogs, man. That's Coach Carter. That's the
Legend.
#1 host crowd mover in the tri-state area, and the reason why I got into the game. So
L Boogs too?
Yeah, man.
That's
Coach
what's up.
Carter, my brother.
Yeah.
Look at us here. And that's the first time that I met you, because obviously from 18 plus years ago to this day, you still on top. And
Thank you.
was throwing 3,000 plus team bash parties.
Hey, that's a
and
fact.
18 years now, we're here. I see you on Prince, Top Movers and Shakers, and you're just doing so many beautiful things. And I'm just happy that you could have chosen anyone, bro. Drake could have been here. Fat Joe could have been here. Anybody
it's
could have
you.
been on
We-
this
we
seat.
needed you here.
So I thank you, my brother.
we needed you here.
Come on, man.
There's nobody like you.
Come on, man. Nobody like you, though. And that's what we're going to talk about today, my brother. So for those that don't know, who is Nate Sketchy?
La maldita bestia.
Come on, man. Talk to me about La Maldita Bestia,
I was gonna
bro.
come humble here, but
I mean, look, humble and hungry. You
really,
feel me?
Like really.
You actually were the one that told me, embrace your greatness. I remember once when you were giving me some flowers. That's what, for the people that don't know Nate, he's always inspiring, he's always motivating. But you were like, yo, nah, bro, I'm giving you flowers, embrace them.
Yeah,
So
sometimes I feel like we don't, like, people be like, yo, congratulations. Loco, tú estás rompiendo. And we be like, yo, we ain't trying. It's thank you.
We doing it.
You gotta keep pushing like greatness towards yourself, because you be trying, you pushing yourself back. It's like gracias. And I always tell my friends, and I told you that day because you was like, oh, I'm trying. I'm like, trying, bro. You know where you at?
sheesh.
You know who you are?
Come on, man.
Fucking AJ.
With this chain on right now, dog, I'm feeling icy right now. My back's
No,
about
you
to
look
break
great, you
with
look
this,
great, you
yo.
look great, my
but
brother.
listen,
Thank you.
man, honestly, bro, like, you've been killing it, you've been crushing it, you've been staying consistent. You continue to set different levels as to pushing culture forward, and I'm so happy that we're gonna be able to tell the story. But in a nutshell, man, I know we have so much to talk about. Who's Nate?
I am blessed to be one of the greatest, and I say one because there is many, has
course.
done such a phenomenal job in this industry. You feel me? You got to give them the credit. I am also blessed to be here, sitting down next to an icon, a legend like yourself.
Love you, my brother. Thank you.
My name is Nate Sketchy. Well, they call me Nate Sketchy. My dudes call me Joel. I love that name.
Especially
Joel.
when you do something wrong.
Joel, ya estoy caliente. I am the founder of an event hospitality group, Sketchy Entertainment Group. We book big artists like Bad Bunny, Ozuna, Arcángel, Zion, 50 Cent. Fat Joe, Cardi B, French Montana, and many more artists. I am also the founder of a luxury, lifestyle, fashion, clothing brand, Moscow Original. We relaunching on mid-February, March.
Too blessed to be stressed, my brother.
Facts.
It's a beautiful thing. I'm happy that I'm here with you, man. First of all, like I told you, you're an inspiration. I love the way you move and shake. You was, yo, dog, 2,000 plus people on a team bash on a phone party.
Easy.
And you was
Easy.
just moving, but it hasn't changed since
It has
then
not.
till now, right? But why tell your story now, Nay?
It's been like 19, 20 years, and I've never done an interview. Nunca he hecho un interview. I felt like nobody really want to know your story. They just want to go viral.
They want to see the glory, but they don't know the story. You feel me?
Facts, yeah, so it's like everybody wants to go viral. They don't really want to know the story of how you grew up, how you came up, and how you hustle your way up. And I remember talking to my team, and I have to do this now. And I say your name. I say, I got to do it with AJ. Like, oh, yes.
Come on.
AJ is the
What an honor.
perfect person, you feel me? You really want to know people's story, And yeah, and I was like, the time is now. La hora es ahora. I was like, yo, I got to tell my story out there before I get lost in history.
Come on.
You feel me? And it's now. The time is now.
Listen,
And-
man, what you've done for Uptown, first of all, one of the hardest, as a music executive, one of the hardest areas for an artist to buzz and pop
It's Uptown.
is Uptown. So let's not forget, Nate, for 18 plus years, you have been a trampoline to Latin music and culture, connecting the dots both on the hip hop and the Latin side. At the end of the day, dog, all these social media platforms started getting lit now, but
Now, we really had to click.
the
have to
DJs,
click.
making sure you're being played uptown.
That's a fact.
How do you feel being part of the explosion of Latin culture uptown? Because I feel that people come to New York, but they embrace New York culture when they come uptown. And people back in the day, dog, let's not get it twisted, right? Used to have Club Deep, used to have the downtown parties, but you really were part of that explosion of keep it uptown.
It's beautiful to see it now and be like, wow, I did that. Like, I really connected the bridge between Latinos and Afro-American, you feel me? There was nothing out here.
Nothing.
Nothing out here. Everybody, was playing.
It was one or the other.
You had the Spanish promoters like Felix Cabrera, Carlos Gomez, Julio Mirage, or you hear the Ruby Perez. Ruby
Come on,
Perez back in
Bobby.
the days. So when I came out here to Uptown, it was like, okay, I got to do something different. And I came out here and I brought the Jim Jones, Joel Santana, Cameron, French Montana. We talking about back in the days, French Montana now, back in the days. And then the following week, I gave him with Joel and Randy, De La Ghetto, Plan B. Talking about also a time
Yes, sir.
donde you used to come to this community and you heard típico, bachata, merengue, balada. Like, you tell one of these owners, yo, play me a hip hop song. They'll keep walking.
Of course.
and
Because it was either one or the other, right?
it was either one or the other. Racism was at all-time high in the entire United States. So we understand the culture now porque estamos más unidos. But back then, we didn't really understand it, you know? Like, yo, ¿qué haces aquí? What he's doing here. And me, I let everybody in. You know, I didn't care what race you was in. You was welcome. And those watching right now know what I'm talking about. You was welcome. I was one of the few. As a matter of fact, I was one of the first.
Come on, say it.
One of the first to say, yo, you walk in there. Oh, okay, he not dressing right. He walking in. You just being racist. You know, and I could name clubs, which I'm not, and say, yo, they were like, oh, okay, we don't want these type of people here. Well, I want them. You know, I want them. And it was a point where people be like, oh, Nate Sketchy, Afro-American, you know? And to this day, they still do, you know, and I love it. I love it. You know, I love being part of both culture.
I think
you know?
I think once again it's just you being ahead of your
And
time.
I'm sorry. And
Don't say
people
sorry.
that
This
are,
is your show.
I know,
Talk about
I
it.
know.
Come
But
on.
sometimes I say sorry because, you know, it might offend certain people. But those looking and watching right now know that Nate Sketchy let everybody in. You feel me? Whether you Afro-American, Latino, Chinese, Guyanese, we were the first club to let people in. While these club owners were racist, you know, yo dije sí, eso entra because I pushed that. So, you know, I was bringing the Jim Jones. The crowd was coming, you know. Oh, que ratchet. Que ratchet de qué? You feel me? Like, you know, it's crazy. I have gotten blocked. And this is real fact. I had gotten blocked for pushing this all my life, you know? And I never stopped, even getting blocked. I never stopped. I'm still doing it. Blocked. I'm still doing. This is what I'm pushing. And I'm not really saying the words that are really supposed to come out of my mouth. You know that movie? You know the words? I'm not really saying the words that are coming out of my mouth, but those that are looking right now and those that are smart understand the language that I'm speaking right now. You know, I don't really got to say much. I have not stopped pushing the culture. And when I say culture, I'm not talking about just Latinos, my brother. You know, I'm talking about Afro-American and we're talking about Latino brothers together in one room.
And that's important
One room.
because together we are the majority, and so many times society tries to separate us, or there's, you know, trying to cause friction, and here
Yeah,
we
of
are,
course, yeah.
especially in a market like New York. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're creating an opportunity where both can embrace what it is New York, which is that of the culture.
AJ, someone that motivated me to stay uptown. And I still remember to this day, and I'm going to say his name because he's a very special person in the community. And I know you know him. Dominican Power, Mike.
Dominican Power, DP.
Yeah, DP. And DP went into the first venue I did Latin and hip hop. Well, mind you, I was already doing Latin hip hop events out here. Across the street from El Dina was a hall. I was doing events. And then obviously, you know, through my process and growth, Melodia, X-Spot gave me a call during the same time. And
But these are staple nights
staple
of
nights.
New York City culture. Go ahead. I just
Yeah,
got to
it's
embrace
all right,
those
it's
flowers.
cool.
I'm sorry.
And Mike DP used to go to my events beforehand. But when I stepped into Uptown, it was like, I remember him walking into Melodia and being like, yo, Melodia was a venue. We first started to do events, hip hop and Latin. And he walked in there. He was like, yo, Nate, you doing something different, kid. Remember, I'm a young teenager at the time. And he was like, you doing something different.
How old were you when you were pushing,
Damn,
when you were running your first, your first
I think
parties running wild?
My first party, I think was 17, 18.
And these are 21 and over parties, right?
17, 18, yeah. But when I came into the community, and I call it community, the Uptown, the community, it was like around like 19, 20, 21. And yeah, man, I still remember to this day, influential people and people that inspired me, like Mike, Dominican Power, Jay Never Broke, and Crazy O. They were like partners at the time. And these three guys inspired me to really push hard for what I was doing. Like I was getting embraced by the OGs.
That's always a
community.
beautiful thing, right? First of all, getting embraced by the OGs, but you also paying homage to the OGs,
Claro
learning
que
from
sí.
them, adapting
Siempre.
and adjusting. I always say data picks up trends and not culture. And, you know, I always see, like, you're a visionary, Nate. Whether you like it or not, you know you're a visionary.
Thank you.
And nowadays, you know, everyone always thinks Latin culture is, more tropical, more Ruby Perez, but there's a generation out there, that's why I say the 200%. The 200%, the 100% that loves American hip hop culture and Latin culture, and you can put a dembow. You can put a dembow reggaeton and you could put a French on, right?
And they'll love it. They love it.
And they'll love it. And honestly speaking, like, let's keep it G. Like, a lot of hip hop DJs ate real good uptown because of you, Nay.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And I remember the first time I booked Camilo. It was a Ramsack. Ever heard of Ramsack?
Oh man, I used to host the Ramsack parties
Ramsack
in
in Queens.
What up, Hans?
Yeah,
the
Hans and
Ramsack
Diego.
boys. They introduced me to the Incredible Hulk.
They were like, yo,
Oh, my
Nate, let's
goodness.
do something different uptown on a Thursday.
Yeesh.
And I was like, yo, who we gonna bring uptown? Pro Style, Camilo. Let's try out Camilo first. I never booked Camilo. It was my
Yeah.
first time. It was booked on their behalf, but it was the first time Camilo came uptown. And then boom, we did them on a Thursday night. Camilo at Melodia.
So, and thank you for the honor and privilege of being here with you, man. It's been, like I said, 20 plus years. Met you at the X Bar Team Bash. But bro, you've been really doing it. Can you share a little bit more as to the story, the hustle, the trials and tribulations? But let's start with, bro, you were one of the first people to bring Daddy Yankee uptown.
Yo, you know what's crazy? I still remember that day. Me recuerdo ese día. Ese día, my good friend EG Music, because I had partners at the time. I had EG Music and my good friend Tuco. And they called me and they was like, yo, Nate, we're gonna book Daddy Yankee for this day. And I was like, Daddy Yankee?
Crazy.
Daddy Yankee, how much is he? I was like, oh my God. Yo, EG, eso es mucho dinero. Tranquilo, que the house is gonna help, we gonna help. And EG Music was also the owner of the venue. And French Montana came in, it was historical. French Montana is my good friend as well. So it was a legendary night, it was beautiful.
So, Nate, man, once again, uptown, New York, you make it here, you make it anywhere. #1 market in the world. Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, the Caribbeans, Washington Heights. It's an artist's dream to be able to play out here. And you were a part of the process of many artists where you were literally one of the first people to give them a bag.
Facts.
And in cash. You feel
Facts.
me? But
Facts.
you book Bunny, you book Arcangel. I know you and Zion are super cool. What is it about an artist that excites you to bring them on to one of your venues? And let's be honest, one of your venues is very impactful for an artist for their career to continue to grow and develop in a market like New York. They're at
That's
a
a
Nate
fact.
Sketchy event, baby. So what do you look for?
So, what's crazy? You're giving me flashback. And when I say flashback, you give me flashback of Messia, Dali,
Sheesh.
Lito Quirino, even Tigueraje 809, We're talking about way back. And I remember getting them calls like, yo, I need you to put these artists to open up. Necesito que me ponga Messia, a Dali, a Lito Quirino, que me abra por el tantita. And I would ask them, yo, I want to listen to their records. And I always knew it, and they could say it. They could tell you, Messia, Dali, and Lito Quirino, I always supported them because their music was quality. I was like, yo, they're going to make it, And my ear's always been right. I have not missed, And every time I had a major artist, I put them to open up, you feel me? So I always had that vision, and I still have that vision to listen to your music and be like, okay, this is the artist. Okay, they dope. Okay, he needs some work. Okay, they need new beats, and no, they not. They gotta keep working, So I always had that great ear, and it's great to know, and it's great to listen to music and be like, this is gonna blow up,
Absolutely. And if you really think about it, right, we're living in a digital era, right? We're living in an era where there's numbers, where you're seeing artists stream or views, but there's a difference between stream and views and packing out a club. So there definitely has to be, like I said, data picks up trends and not culture. Now, look, Nate, as you know, I work in the music industry, head of artist partnerships, Latin music and culture for Google and YouTube, 18 plus years, killing it and crushing it. I know how to read body language. I know how to read when someone is fucking with you, someone is not.
Can you read? This is my first interview, right? You can
What are
read
you
it,
talking
right?
about? This ain't your first
Okay.
interview.
It's
This
my
is
first
one of many,
interview.
my brother. You're killing it right now. Come on, give yourself some flowers, my brother.
I'm trying. No,
Come on.
I know. We here.
This is one of many, my brother.
Thank you.
You feel me? This is just a stepping stone.
Facts. You're right.
And you deserve the flowers and you deserve to have fun here.
Thank you.
But something that I've noticed, I remember there was I came with the homie Marvelous Fame. I remember you invited me to a party. This was a couple of years back when I used to really come out in the nightlife. Still come out here and there. And it was El Alfa performing.
My birthday party.
There it is. It was your birthday party. And my brother, like, there was just celebrities all over the place. But something that I always see, Nate, whether it's on social media, whether it's seeing you in person, is that people, celebrities, big celebrities, Fat Joe's, Cardi B's, Zion, like people, Foreign Tech, like people really, like they really fuck with you. Like they really, their body language, they open up to you, they smile, they laugh, they comment. Why is that? What is it about Nate that just people want to be around and resonate to? And these are big people, you know what I'm saying?
I know. You know, privacy is key.
Privacy is key.
Privacy is key, Ed. You have to be yourself when you're around them, you know? Like, I be watching people, and it's just like, some do the extra, some do the most. You feel me? And
The movie.
yeah, the movie, and I'm just like myself, and I never had to do much. I gravitated to them, and it's just like, yo, tell Nate to call me tomorrow, and I'll be like, okay. Like artists, you
Yeah,
know?
of course.
Yeah, and I built this relationship, like with all of them, you know? Just say, for example, like my first experience with Fat Joe, right? Pro Star booked him for his birthday. And I remember that first day, I took the mic, and I say, yo, Joe, go in front of the stage, because his whole entourage was in front of the stage. Yeah. And he looked at me, yo, Sketchy, what's up? And I see Pro Style nervous. I'm talking about Gangsta Joe. I'm telling Gangsta Joe to go to the front of the stage. And on top of that, listen to this, AJ. On top of that, I get back on the mic and tell him, yo, Joe, you know you fly, but you ain't flyer than me.
On the mic.
On the mic. So when I walked down, he said, yo, Nate, come over here. I love your vibe, man. Like, I love your energy. And I was like, thank you. Like, from there, we had a relationship. French Montana, I've been booking him since he first started. Cardi B, before she became famous, I was putting her to host in my events. And it's beautiful. Like, I think about it. And I
Energy is currency.
Energy is currency. And I don't really have to, I don't do much. Just come, my swag, sit down. Yo, y'all need something? That's
You do a lot.
Customer
though.
service, and that's it.
You're the connector. You do a lot. You're the connector. And I also feel that you also empower and push culture forward where you're feeding people, my brother. You're putting money on people's table. You're taking a chance while people are enjoying. Not only are people enjoying, but you're also feeding.
The best time of their life.
Come on. You know, you got to embrace that.
They're having the best time of their life.
Best time. Yo, but I want to dive a little bit into Nate, because once again, they see the glory, they don't know the story. I want you to share a little bit as to like, yo, some trials, my brother, some ish that you went through to get where you're at now.
So I remember the first time I went at war.
Okay.
I'm talking about we went at war.
Explain war for me in the nightlife scene.
Like, back to back. Not the next week you booked the artist or the week before you booked the artist. We had artists back to back. CIM production was my biggest fucking headache when I was growing up.
Competition is
Oh
none. J1, J2,
Yo.
the squad.
So I'll put an artist on Friday, let's say at Joel and Randy, they'll book the artist on Saturday. And I will go to the owner, Jimmy, Elvis, and say, yo, what are you guys doing? How you allowing this man to do the artist the following day? Because I'm a flop. They're like, you got this, a different completely crowd. It's a different completely crowd. And I'm like, Dios mío. So we went at war. Friday, Saturday, Joel and Randy. Arcángel, Friday, Saturday. Jeez. Zion and Lennox, Friday, Saturday. It was just like, I knew at that time, and I knew that at that moment, like, yo, I'm battling the biggest production company in New York City.
I was just gonna say that, Nate. So obviously, you know, that's a staple, that's a stamp. CIN, competition is none. They're throwing parties all over the
Biggies at
tri-state.
that
They got
time.
big money, they got large money, right? But what did you learn from that experience? Because here you are, up and coming, wet behind the ears, but the hunger was there. What did you learn from battling a giant like CIN?
I learned that you never give up in your
Come on.
dreams. You feel me? You gotta go forward and just fight through those battles. Nothing that is easy is worth. You feel me? So I feel like I went through my hardest time at that time, and you know I never gave up, and I kept going through. It's like you're going through a forest and you're fighting through animals, and you feel me? I remember that day. John is the founder of CIN Production, came into my party, El Entró, right?
Yeah.
It's packed, so I'm happy. You know I'm happy.
Boy, you like
It's packed.
Friday
so,
night.
yeah, Friday night, it's packed, and he walks in straight with a face. I'm in the back talking to one of the owners, his name is Elvis, and he goes, hey, I want to have a second with you. I'm like, oh my God.
What happened
I'm a
now?
young teenager, you know, he got this white guy.
Going against some adults.
Yeah, I'm a young teenager going against the biggest company in New York City, and he pulls me to the back and says, what's the problem with you? I was like, there's no problem with me. What's the problem with you? He like, you have a problem with me? I said, I don't have a problem with you. If I book an artist, you book them, I don't understand. You feel me? He's like, oh, because I had these artists booked already. I said, all right, cool. If you have a problem, let me know. I said, no, I don't have no problem. And I remember to this day, that's how we became friends, these words that I told them. I said, I don't have no problem. This is how I feed my mom. So I'm gonna go hard. Wow. He looked at me, he just walked out, and he told me, he always tells me, that very moment when you said, you do this for your mom, oof, that's it, you just caught my heart. I said, this kid's good. This kid's a good kid.
Is that why you still do it?
I don't still do it because of that. I do it because there's nobody else doing it like me, so why stop? Like, I look around and I'd be like, yo, at that time, I was looking around and saying, who's doing it like me? And I was a young teenager, and I'm like, who's doing it like me? And there was nobody. So I was just, why would I stop now when I'm at my best moment? And I just kept going, and we're here today, you know? Thankfully, God.
Scare money don't make money, right? Because I'm pretty sure these artists in their prime, it wasn't just like a $1,000 fee. You ever felt like, you know, just like, yo, am I gonna make my money back? Like,
no, they were actually cheaper. Yo, the Joel and Randy, the Arcangel, the Zion and Lennox, the Jim Jones, they were so cheap. Now it's like everybody, so many out there now that they just giving out money for a relationship. You don't make $1.
ooh. So wait a minute,
You don't make $1, AJ.
you're watering the plant.
Sometimes you negative, you still pay them not to look bad. You know, so it was beautiful because the wins and the losses, I still was consistent, you know?
Where, you know, did you just wake up one day and say, yo, I'm gonna run uptown and have the hottest nightlife parties?
No,
where did that inspiration come from?
So that came from, we had no other choice but to go uptown because we were so hot. Like, you know, our party was so intense in the Bronx that we were, you know what, we can't find a hall in the Bronx. Let's go uptown. And I remember the first hall we booked in uptown. It was across the street from El Tina. El Tina's a fish market in here in uptown, 207th Street. And we did that one party, and it was massive. Like thousands of people outside. Jeez. And I was like, yo, we can do this shit anywhere. Podemos hacer esto en cualquier lado. I was telling one of my partners at the time, you feel me? His name was Kels. Yo, we could do this anywhere. And he was like, yo, it's incredible, it's beautiful. And then after that, like 2 or 3 days later, we got calls from every venue, like Melodia, the X Bars, the Pro Styles, you know? And it was beautiful. I still remember that moment. That moment is real special to me because that moment changed my life.
Wow.
You know, so.
That's when it clicked.
That's when it clicked.
Hold on,
that's when it clicked. We was like, yo, we hot out here. We got to keep it going. And we were going. It was like, you know, Forrest Gump?
Kept going, kept running.
Ain't nobody stopping us. It was that. That was the time.
Sketchy Entertainment Group.
Lo mejor.
La calidad. Top notch.
We
Caviar. Wagyu. When it comes to hospitality. You work with the best. A lot of big names and celebrities. Can you explain how this all started?
I remember being inspired. And when I say inspired I was a teenager.
Okay.
Me and my two friends, we used to party a lot, Kels and Drew. And I still remember to this day, right? Someone invited us to an event and we walked into that event, right? And when we walked into that event, AJ, all you heard was Sucio. Sucio Entertainment Group.
Rang bells.
Yo, and I told Kels, yo, you see this shit? Like, we gotta do this. And he goes, let's do it. Then my other friend named Drew was like, I'll be the DJ. I woke up the next morning, called my sister, and I said, hey, Lucy, I overheard you speaking to Mom about you moving, que te iba a mudar de tu casa. She goes, yeah, I'm gonna move. I'm like, yo, let's do a party before you move. She was, I know, la policía. I'm like, yo, it's gonna be like a little get together and stuff like that. We had hundreds of people outside. It was like,
Movie.
she was like, you told me it was gonna be a small gathering. Oh my God, this is crazy. The fire department came, the cops came. And that same day, I saw my friend Steven. He was like, yo, we gotta continue this, man. Let's do it in my crib in Briggs. And I was like, let's do it. So we did the event at his crib. And we named it the White House because it was a White House. From there, we lasted like 2 or 3 months. And from there, we went to halls. Then from there, we went to lounge. That's when I started booking the Babyface, the Precise, the Tito Rocks, the Pro Styles, the L Books, and yourself too, you know? You know, that
I
legend.
remember, listen, man, I used to be excited. I want a
Facts.
Nate Sketchy flyer, man. Come on.
Now, I was excited when you shot me up on La
Listen.
Calle.
Yo, listen,
You
man,
was showing me on the calle.
You were a part of curating events for the first reggaeton station in the country. If you really think about it, Team Patches.
You know what's crazy? I
3,000
needed,
plus.
I needed an award. You see,
You are the award, my brother.
You're
You're the gift to this world to many.
Yo, that's a fact, man. I merged into like the
went from there?
Precise with the Danny S. I merged into like the even Lobo. I started booking Lobo, you know. I think I was booking Lobo at that time. I don't know much, and I'm not really accurate about that, you know, answer, you know.
And Sketchy Entertainment Group, the hospitality company, what does it represent now?
It represents the culture. It represents Latino. It represents Afro-American, white people, Guyanese, Chinese. It represents everyone.
Share with me some type of events that Sketchy Entertainment Group has been a part of, has produced, have been powered by.
So we've done mostly every artist, you know. We did Arcángel, Zion and Lennox, La India, Anthony Santo, Omega, De La Ghetto, Cameron, DJ Khaled, Mace, Red Cafe, OT Genesis, Future, Fabulous many times, Trey Songz, Wale, Kevin Durant pulled up one time. And let's not forget, I actually did Bad Bunny 2 times because I did it by myself at Salsa Con Fuego. Wow, that was crazy. Who else can I say? Joel and Randy. Me llama y no dice nada. Que pasa que ya no te ve. Come on, man. These are my friends. The Jim Jones. The Notch. Ni Notch.
Wow.
Number
She
nine.
like it. Bueno.
We done the Mr. Vegas. We done the De La Ghetto, Plan B, 50 Cent, Fat Joe, Cardi B, French Montana. We did Puffy at one time. We did Daddy Yankee, Ozuna, Bad Bunny, Post Malone. Post Malone did a concert for me. Dre London, I Love You. Post Malone did the... El Alfa. It's so many, twin. Like, it's beautiful. Like, it's beautiful.
I remember there was this
And
one.
before, I'm sorry for cutting you
No,
off.
baby.
And that's before, like, they blowing up. Like, I'm talking about, like, the Spanish ones, you know, because the English ones are already, you know,
Give me more, come on.
you know, so.
Talk that shit,
and
nigga,
I'm
come
talking
on.
about, and before, like, the Spanish one, like, the Bad Bunny, like, I remember the first time we even booked Bad Bunny. I was in the parking lot with FOK Music. FOK Music is the owner of Vodka Lounge at the moment. Now it's called 420. We were at a parking lot. He was like, yo, Nate, this is big Puerto Rican artist, DJ Louis Young has. I'm like, who is DJ Louis Young and who is the Puerto Rican artist? He goes, the artist name is Bad Bunny. Like, mind you, if you telling me about an artist and you call yourself Bad Bunny, you're gonna be like, yo, ¿qué es ese nombre? I was like, Bad Bunny? He was like, yo, brother, si nosotros perdemos, he told me straight up, if we lose, I'll give you $5,000. And I was like, nah, I trust your words. Like, you know, we was part of this event together. And bro, we booked Bad Bunny. It was sold out.
Once again, right? Something that's special about Nay and what you're doing out here is
Yeah.
it's not easy to be put on a flyer in one of the hottest areas in New York. Big city, big dreams. You make it here, you make it anywhere. You're literally A&Ring and putting money in an artist's pocket in the process. What is it that you look for when you're bringing an artist to come be a part of a Nay Sketchy
Yo, so I'll be honest
entertainment?
with you. I don't look at no growth. I look at the numbers. At the end of the day, it's numbers. So if I'm paying you what you asked for,
Okay.
I'm expecting a pack house. You understand? Now, if I want to build a relationship, I take it upon myself and be like, yo, how much you want? Tato, even if I take a loss, I still believe in you. Like, I know this artist gonna blow. You know what? I'm gonna take the loss and I'm gonna still do it. To build a relationship, you know? Because a lot of us do that. To build a relationship, it's just like, okay, we're gonna pay this and we're gonna take it out, you know? So I feel like majority's artists, not the ones I book, because I'm very like number-wise, like yo quiero que los números me hagan sentido. You know, you want to book all, you want to pay 20 grand and make 40, you know, but not all the artists is like that, you know, and I'm not gonna name none because I don't want to bash none, you know, some go up, some go down, some have their time, and it's just like, el tiempo de esa persona no fue ahora, el tiempo de esa persona es ahora, you know, so I had great experience, I had bad experience as well, but all experiences are the best, you know, and especially in this industry.
Talk to me like, how have things changed in the space, in the nightlife, where you are today and how it was back in the day?
Yo,
Not back in the day,
yo,
'cause
AJ,
you know what I mean, though.
AJ, you know what it is to stand from 3 p.m. because we had a clock. We was really working my team, we was working from 3 p.m. all the way to 7 p.m. giving out flyers in Fordham Road, giving out flyers in these college outside every college in Manhattan,
Street
in the
team.
Bronx, Lehman, BCC, BMCC. We was going to them giving out flyers. We used to walk from Fordham Road all the way to 139th Street, putting up posters and then back. We used to go to 180. We used to go to Dykeman, walk from Dykeman all the way to 139th Street, and post off posters
And have to pay
Hold on.
for the flyers, right?
Yeah, we used to pay for big ass posters, always 500 for like 350, and the flyers were like 150 for like 500. Yeah, so we was giving out these flyers. We really work hard, you know. This is not like now, que you manda un email. This is not, back then you had to really, pull up to the event, I got you, you know. We really work hard in these streets. There was really a street team out there to make sure the audience, the people, even I met a lot of people in the streets because, you know, you give them a flyer, this is going to be good. You create a relationship, or the girl was too pretty. You'd be like, hey, come to the party. I got a free Grey Goose bottle for you. I got a free Hypnotic for you back in the days. We're not talking about now,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I'll be saying Casamigo right now, I'll be lying. Talking about Hypnotic back then, you know?
Wanted to ask you a question, man, because I really do feel that, you know, nightlife, and especially in New York City or in any club, right? DJs still have some cultural capital. When your record plays in the club, it's still impactful. What would be an advice for an artist to be played at a New York club?
What would be that advice? You know what's crazy? I could tell you a story about this.
Okay,
I'm gonna go with A Boogie.
come on.
So A Boogie and his team, Bubba and Cubans, they used to come to my event and spend the bag whenever I had like a Flex, Camilo, Self. So you seen these kids, high bridge in the building, high bridge in the building. And like I knew about A Boogie because of SoundCloud, but I know for a fact that he got his majority plays from these DJs was showing out and coming to these venues and showing these DJs love. So you gotta be present. You gotta show up, like JC just said. You feel me? You gotta show up, you know, and you don't have to go all out, but even a drink to the DJ, oh, here's a cheers, like all that matters, you know.
Yep.
You create your connection with the DJs. Y ellos te apoyan más, they support you, you know,
That's
the
a
most, you know. Hold on. On top of that, I did A Boogie and Funk Flex first show.
Nate Sketchy called me to. He was doing a party with you at Space, and that might be the first time.
Like
Wow.
Flex knew about A Boogie because heard him on SoundCloud and the DJs was mentioning Flex the whole time. Like, yo, A Boogie's the next artist. A Boogie's the next artist. But when I called Flex and I told yo, Flex, let's do a little mini concert at Space for A Boogie, he was like, yo, I heard of the kid, let's do it. He would, cause Flex be mad picky. He don't just do any concert with anybody. And when I told Bubba and Q, like, yo, listen, Flex said, yeah, he'll do the party with A Boogie. It was like, we met up at, I think it was El Típico right there in Dykeman.
Okay.
A Boogie, Q, and Buzz, so I could give him the deposit to the event. So I give him the deposit to the event.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
and that was an iconic moment too as well.
You was out here A&Ring and being a trampoline to some artists, and that's beautiful because, at the end of the day, from the streets to the C-suites. Summertime.
Oh my God.
I'm just going to say La Marina.
Oh.
Jay-Z, Leonardo DiCaprio, French Montana pulling in a boat. Talk to me about La Marina and how important that season was for you and what was going on, what was happening.
We got to build that. Nosotros creamos eso. We got to build that with the empowerment we did 5-10 years. I don't think Fernando Mateo would have believed in La Marina if it wasn't put so much into the culture, Plus, he's a genius. He believes in fun. He believes in the people, as you can see. He believes in projects. He believes in the culture as well. But him to come over here and do La Marina, something had to inspire him from before. And I feel like everything that we have done here in Uptown New York City, from bringing all these hip hop and all these Latin artists together, had to motivate him. Like, yo, I think this is a great space to do La Marina. Because you cannot magically be an investor and be like, hey, I'm putting
this is gonna
a
work
boat in front of the middle of the water of the Bronx. No, you got to think like, okay, this is going to work because this has happened already. Listen to the words, AJ. This is going to work because what's happened already. You feel
What
me?
you've been doing.
Yeah, what we've been doing. I did it first. There's other that has pushed the culture as well during the time.
Of course.
We cannot take, once again, we can't take nobody's credit out of it.
There was that La
Understand?
Marina the whole summer.
Yeah, man. Then when La Marina came, I was like, yo, this is beautiful, man. Like, now we could give them water and boats, jet skis, sand, the beautiful woman, the beautiful fellas. Everybody was out here. We was doing house music. And when I say we, not personally that I was doing an event, I mean we because I consider myself part of the community.
Of course.
They were doing house music, like bringing all these big house celebrity DJs. Now we get to come in. You know, I actually had a partner at the time, you know, Miguel Plaza, and you know, I remember those deals we was getting, and it was massive, like amazing. Like those times were amazing, and we took time to even say like, yo, it's a blessing, and we still speak about it. We still speak about like, yo, how blessing those times were because of everything we done before, you know, bridging Latinos and Afro Americans together.
Culture.
Now you got them in one spot as well.
And not only just Latin artists, you got hip hop artists, you got artists like 2 Chainz, you got artists like French, and you got Puerto Rican Day Parade after parties at La Marina. And
it was something special, and I wish I could come back. You know, that gave up really momentum to uptown New York City. You know, you got Leonardo DiCaprio in here. You know, the
popping
biggest,
up. Khloe Kardashian.
We
with
got
French.
Khloe Kardashian pulling up with friends. That was actually the event, and that was those days I won't forget. You know, those like culturists. You know, like wow, we did that. You know, for others it might seem like oh, but for us it's like we brought them out here. You know,
It's not even, but I think it's bigger than that, right? Because I remember as soon as La Marina was moving and shaking, artists in songs are mentioning La Marina. People are coming to New York, and yo, what's La Marina
So
about?
when you hear pull up on a yacht, French Montana,
Shot my nigga Maxie in a box, nigga. Pull up La Marina in a yacht, nigga.
that was our party.
That's what I'm saying.
You know,
like,
and that's beautiful. Like
you're curating culture.
facts.
You're curating time in the history of what is New York culture in the summer.
I just
You know
wish
what
you
I'm
would have
saying?
said Nate Sketchy on pull up.
That's the next one. We hit up French on the next
Yo,
one.
French, man.
Come on,
Damn,
man.
You forgot my
Oh.
name.
Yo, man, talk to me about this whole like hosting and curating and working on Drake private events, sketching ENT. Like, what's that all about?
So I'll be honest with you. I don't really want to talk about it much.
Okay.
Like I told you before, privacy is key. I want to thank my brother DJ Spade for putting me in that position, you know? Like putting me in that position, not like a ghost. Like, yo, this is Nate Sketchy. And then I met his team. The Obio guys. Man, oh man, these guys are amazing people. Like Chubbs, B, Preem, Skip, you know, TB Gucci, Obio Rocks, Showtime. These people are amazing. Like Re-Up, like their hospitality, their energy. And I'm like, yo, this is why Drake is Drake, you know?
The team.
Yo, algo fenomenal. I said that right in Spanish?
Yeah, absolutely. Fenomenal.
Feno-
Diablo,
yo,
el español
bro.
está de pintura, mi bro.
Fenomenal. Like ese equipo es
Pero ellos
beautiful.
también entendieron. They also understood, right? I mean, it's New York, my G. And I got to give you your flowers, man. Because
Nah,
I know
they
you're a
know.
humble
They
dude.
know.
I
Uptown,
know you a humble
they
dude
sketchy.
and you want to like not
they
really
know. I give-
flex.
they-
But I mean, they in New York y vinieron a ti.
Yeah. So Spade had called me. I was actually sleeping, and Spade called me. Yo, listen, we're doing a party tonight for the boy, and I'm like, Drake, and I'm like, okay, cool. He's like, yo, pull up, and I'm all right, cool. And then when he walked in the building, he was like, yo, that's Nate Sketchy, like that, and I was like, okay, that's what's up, man, because people don't really introduce you to like other artists or especially a artist like his caliber, you feel me? And the rest was history, man. Like I said, I really don't like speaking about people's business and, you know.
I know you
but
don't.
all I know, all I could tell you is, AJ, sincerely, is we invite good people. We invite, you know, the right people. That's about it, you know?
So listen, man, I know you're trying to be humble right now, and I get it. But
I'm
I need to
always
give you-
humble.
absolutely, but you got to give flowers where flowers are due.
Thank you.
They could have picked anybody in the tri-state area. It's the #1 market in the world, but they came to you because you're the one that's connecting two cultures in one city, the most important city in the United States. Uptown, which is iconic and legendary to what is culture here in
It
New
really
York.
is.
You know what I'm saying?
People forget, but it really is.
Come on, man. They see the glory, but they don't know the story. And we're telling the story of Nay as we speak. Now I want to dab a little bit into, like, right now we see in culture how both of our cultures, right?
Of course.
The Afro culture, the hip hop culture, the Latin culture, you're seeing more of that solfrito, but you've been doing it. But not only that though, you're also creating visibility for dembow, for Dominican music. Talk to me a little bit about that and what you've done to kind of pave the way and support dembow y la música de la República Dominicana, que es tu patio, ¿no?
See, is another thing. Like, I've been booking The Secreto, Del Mayor,
Come on.
La Insuperable. You know, like, I've been booking these artists. Who's another, like, El Alfa, we already spoke about him as he did my birthday party. But the first artist that I have booked in Dembow was Morocco.
Morocco.
Remember Morocco?
Sheesh.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
zebra couches.
Morocco, the zebra couches with damn, what's his name? El Crow.
El
What's the
Crow.
Crow? El Crow and the other one?
Doble T y el Crow.
Doble T,
Los
El Crow. Pepe. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yo, twin, man,
You've been
it's
doing
old
it,
school.
my G. You've been doing it.
Facts. So I've been supporting that culture, you know? And like I said, as long as it makes me sense, I do it, you know? And now, of course, cojo chances alguna vez, you know? Y lo hago por hacer relaciones. But I've been pushing Dembow for a minute, you know? I think Dembow is beautiful. I think Dembow, it has gotten to... First off, Dembow been old school, you know? We're talking about Afro-American was handling that first. Let's talk there, you know? And I'm not taking away from any Latin culture, but it's a fact, you
The
know?
roots.
Yes, it's a fact. So, but it's beautiful that our Latin culture has gravitated and merged into it and done such a phenomenal job, you know? Salute them, you know? Los Dominicanos, rompiendo.
I mean, one of the top diasporas in the United States and especially New York.
You keep going, because the camera's on you.
Okay. Oh, wait, hold on. You tell it. Yeah, you see Dave? Come on. Yeah. Dale, go ahead. But go ahead.
No, because Kim, that's her chick, Dembow. You gotta be careful. Watch out how you speak, man.
Yo, hold on.
Yeah. Watch out how you speak on Dembow.
Hold on, my man Nate just told me right now, like, yo, no, tranquilo. The camera's on you, it's on me. You see it, right? Hey,
For the interview to the host.
the Dembow police.
Dembow police over there.
Okay.
She almost hit somebody
Yo,
the other
for
day.
real, listen. I'm happy.
Oye, dime.
I'm happy.
Chimosa.
I'm happy. I'm
All
on,
right, guys,
I'm
3, 2, 1.
I'm happy I'm on Jenny's good side, because if you're on her bad side and Kim's side, forget about it. It's a wrap, yo. Yo, for real. Anyways, que viva el Dominican Dembow, my brother, and
That's
thank you for all that
beautiful.
you're
It is
doing
beautiful,
to continue
man.
to support
Yo, listen,
your community. You feel me?
and sorry for
Cultura.
cutting you off.
You're never cutting me off.
Sorry. I'm
Never.
sorry. Shout out to Alafoque, man. You know, he
Okay.
might be a little too strong, but he pushing his culture.
Listen, man, the beautiful thing about Dominican culture, and I think it's what you
He
represent.
might be a little too strong, but he pushes his culture.
you got the Alofocus and you got the Nays. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So community together, we run far.
Fact.
Especially uptown, it's the only place where you can really go from a Travis Scott record, heavy, to a Mayimbe record.
It was like the most epic night of my life, and it wasn't about artists.
Who are the next Nays? Or who's, you know what I'm saying?
Not
Like,
even about who's the next name.
'Cause there's only one
There's
name.
only one name.
Come on,
I'm
man.
sorry, AJ. You
that was
feel
a trick
me?
question, right?